Hey, what's up, y'all? So I'm trying to do this thing where I make videos a little bit more often, and there's also like parts of my life that I'm kind of realizing that I kind of want to document. And I used to try journaling, used to try other things, and I think the best way that I've found so far is this. Like, don't think I'd be this comfortable in front of a camera, but you know. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is on Friday, it's a couple days ago. Uh, Me and some of my friends went out to dinner. We went out to one of my favorite seafood restaurants on the waterfront in Virginia Beach, and while we were there, so I decided like there was going to be 12 of us total, something along those lines, and I was like, you know what, like I haven't dressed up in a while, and decided I wanted to go like all out, and like I hadn't. Like there was one time that I wore a dress in public, out to dinner with some other friends, and it was for it was around Halloween, so I wanted to try it again. Like, one, it's been a few years since then, and then two, like I wanted to try it like closer to the summer, and so it was like really warm. So I was like, you know what, I'm wearing like a dress or a skirt. So ended up ordering some clothes, and I wore like a black wrap top, and then a white skirt, and then I actually, to some of my friends, like some of my friends were recommended it, and some of them were like, no, you probably shouldn't do that, you should practice a lot. Well, I wore heels in public for the first time. Actually, I wore heels like for the first time. That's like 3 inches. And what's funny is like my friends were like shocked because I was like really good walking in heels. Like I didn't really stumble, didn't like trip at all. Like I was fine. Like we danced, we did everything, and I was like completely comfortable. And it was another one of those things where like some of my friends, like it drives them crazy because for whatever reason, like I was like kind of naturally good at makeup, and then I was like, no, I guess I'm naturally good at walking in heels. Um, Maybe I'm just meant to be a girl, huh? But anyway, so yeah, it was a great time. Um, at first, whenever we were walking up to the restaurant, like one thing that a lot of trans people that I find like we do is like we overanalyze everything. So like our whole life, like we've been analyzing our posture, analyzing like our mannerisms, things like that, things to like basically to try to like prevent being feminine. And then now it's like, oh well, now I got to relearn it and do the other way. And it's like, am I holding my head right? What do I do in my hands? Literally, that was the question like half the night. I was like, I can't do this because like my shoulders are already big. Like, no. And so it was pretty funny. But yeah, when we were walking up, like I was like kind of freaking out a little bit like that, and then I was like, you know what, like screw it, I'm okay. Like, my friends reassured me some, and then like once I got to a point where like so many people had already seen me, like, so what? Like, what's it matter? And like, it's been a process, like where I get weird looks, like it's gonna happen. I'm in between, and it's something that like you kind of have to like process on the inside. Like my counselors helped me a ton doing that, because at the end of the day, like I'm having a good time. I'm feeling more myself than I've ever felt. It was honestly one of the best nights ever, and so like you have people kind of looking at me a little odd, but that's their reaction. That's their problem. They own that. And I'm not gonna let people that I don't even know, take away from a great night. But like that's, it's really good whenever I'm like you're in a group of friends, stuff like that. Like it's a lot easier to do. Because there have been multiple times where like I've been, knowing that I'm trans, like, and like in certain areas, certain places that we go to, like I'm actually kind of scared. And so thankfully though, like nothing happened. Like people were like honestly like amazed me. Like there's so much military in this area, so you have people from like all around the world, like all around the country. And so it was just great. We went to the restaurant, we ate. It's always interesting because like in my experience so far, like a lot of people are like super accommodating and like they're really super nice, and it's kind of awesome how far we've come. I'm very thankful I can do it in this time instead of like 50 years ago. But it was, let's see. So we went to the restaurant. Got there, had some drinks first. Like that helped more than anything. Trust me. Liquid confidence. And so then we ate. Then we went to this. It was like an outdoor bar, like with like a DJ and like tents and stuff. And it was all right. There was a lot of people. It was a good like mix of people, but like it was a pretty decent sized venue. I wasn't super comfortable there, but thankfully like I had like 10 of my friends that were surrounding me, and like one of my friends, Courtney, and she was like, "Hey, like you gotta learn to dance. Like come on, like just like as a girl, she's like you gotta move the hips. Like let's go." And she was like awesome. All my friends were really cool, and so. And it was just like, I didn't really have much of a care in the world to me, like, half the time. I mean, I was nervous other times, but like, it was okay. And like, when we were at the actual restaurant, like, I had to go to the bathroom. So like, I asked my friend Sam, and she was like, "Hey, come on." And so we went to the bathroom, and it was like, that's like for me, that's like one of the hardest things. I just want to go in there and pee. That's it. But like, there are many instances where people get like really mad and really mean and stuff like that, and like I just want to go pee, and like I don't want to get harassed, and like just let me do my thing, please. Because obviously like in makeup with like everything I was wearing, like I'm not gonna go to the guys' room. I'm way more likely to get harassed there. But the whole, I could go on for a long rant, probably do another video on that. But anyway, like. It was fine, and then, after we were at the outdoor place, we went to this other, like it's kind of like a little bit of a smaller club, and when we got there, the bouncer looked at my ID, looked at me, looked at my ID, and was like kind of shocked, and was like, "You go, girl," and then he let me in, and then a little bit later, he like came and found me and was like really proud of me, was like, "Hey, that's basically like you're awesome," like blah blah blah, and had a lot of things like that night, and like a lot of people like it's kind of weird because like I go by Weston most of the time, but I also go to my Natalie, and I was like I'm starting to make the transition over, so it's like I have a hard time knowing who to introduce myself as, so which is it shouldn't be that hard, like I should just go by Natalie. And so, but I'm like also pretty chill, and like there was a guy at the bar, and he sat down next to me. He was in the Navy. He was from Jersey, and actually he's from Delaware. But anyway, he sat down next to me, was talking to me, like we were talking about what we do, things like that, and he asked me, he was like, he said dude at one point, and like I was like, it's like not a big deal. Like he was like, "Oh, is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's not a big deal. You're fine." It's like he ended up like referring to me as they them, and like some of his friends came over and we were all talking, and it was like cool. Like I didn't really care. And the bartender there, her name was Allie, and she helped out a lot. She poured me way too many drinks though, and it was like so many people were like buying me shots and things because like they were just around me and like having a good time, and like they wanted to include me in it. It was just people I didn't know. And like I had several people like, they want to hang out later, want to hang out some other time, like, and things like that. So, it was really cool. It was, definitely one of the best nights of my life. It was just so much fun. Like it amazes me how far I've come. And like I know I keep saying that, but like. One of the things that I'm like the hardest thing for me is like the endurance thing, which is so funny because right now I'm hoping to go for a run in a little bit, and I have a half marathon t-shirt on. But like endurance in life is like one of the hardest things for me. Like needless to say, my voice, for instance, like I haven't been working on my voice that much because it's like so discouraging, like doing the exercises constantly, and like I'm really bad at it. So working on it. It's definitely like a point that I'm not so happy about right now, but we'll get there. But yeah, it was a great night. Really great night. Let's see if there's anything else. It was honestly like probably the most important thing. Like once I was like comfortable and once I was fine, I felt at home in my body. Like for the first time, like in a very long time, like I just felt right. Like it just felt like it was such a great experience, such a fun time. I just felt so comfortable, so confident. Like I'm like, yeah, like there are some pictures that were taken of the night that I don't really like that much. Like, you know, my posture kind of sucks, my arms are kind of big. Like I could keep going on, but like overall, like it was a great night. And you know, one of the biggest things that I kind of realized when we were walking around the ocean front was I'm transitioning. Like I'm in between, and it's not like bam, I'm always going to be like passable and viewed as a woman and all that stuff. Like it takes time, and it's, you know, it like the more I work at it, the more I go out, the more confident I get, the further progress I'm going to make. And so it was interesting because like I, you know, started my friend Sam, and I was like, yeah, I hadn't been out since you know, we dressed up a while back and went to like me and another friend and Sam went to like just this local restaurant, and I was in a sweater and jeans, so if that tells you anything. And now it was like 90 degrees all weekend. So it was, and like another thing I'm trying not to do is say like, oh, I'm gonna go get dressed up or something like that every time I want to like present as a female, because in reality it's like what I'm gonna be doing every day. So it's like not really supposed to be a special occasion. It's just, you know, me living my life. So progress, we're getting there. But yeah, I wanted to document this before it got too far, or you know, too many days passed and I missed some details. But yeah, definitely like my friends are pretty awesome. Like one of my friends commented and was like, said that it's awesome to have such a big support group, and I was like, I have a massive support group here. Like that's, I can't imagine moving away right now. But thanks for watching. Hopefully like this comes out in the next day or two, who knows. But hope to make several more, like just trying to get in the groove of it. But anyway, thank you.